start to ask these kind of questions, like what is the cause of suffering and what is the cause of happiness? If you really, I often talk about the open question, because once you start asking something, it starts to open up. It's like we're not even sometimes accustomed to even looking into things. We just take things at face value, So it's like there's this great teacher, Arya Deva. He says once you start to question reality, your own delusion starts to fall apart, And I think the Buddha was asking these very questions. His questions in the beginning were, how do you work with suffering? All beings are suffering. He was noticing this deep longing for happiness, and he started asking these questions. And they're just basic human questions. I mean, these are our questions. And so I think this path, the Dharma path, is not, we often think of it as a religion or a dogma or a set of principles or rules, but actually it's just a process of questioning. So I think if people are interested in this process of questioning, this is a great way to start, is just begin with some of the basic teachings. Like the first teaching the Buddha gave was just simply looking at suffering and the causes and conditions of suffering. And one of the causes and conditions of suffering is clinging to the self tightly and contracting, as I was saying. Whereas the causes and conditions for happiness have to do with being inclusive and less afraid and seeing that we're big enough for our life, rather than life being something that happens to us. So even on the very basic level, the basic teachings of the Dharma kind of lead us through our own personal process of inquiry. So you could just start at the beginning. Everybody enters in their own way.